very next week. And the next week includes Texas State this Saturday at McLean Stadium. Jake Spavital, the head coach at Texas State, the Bobcats, coming off a win, joins us on 365 Sports. Is it always just better everywhere around, wherever you are around the program after a win?
Yeah. You never take you never take winning for granted. I can promise you that. So, that's part of what we're trying to build here at Texas State. And, it will take any win that we possibly can and just keep building off of it and just try to get a day better every single day. So,
Coach, you made a gamble with your roster about going straight into the transfer portal and doing that. How do you feel that's paying off now down the line?
I think it's helped us out tremendously. I think it's, I'm very fortunate to sit on a lot of these committees, a lot of name, image, likeness task force and the NCAA ethics committee and, just the NCAA rules committee as well. And, I got to sit in these meetings and you kind of listen to, every single school and the circumstances that they have. And, you just learn that every school is different and you have to have a different approach, based off of where you're at. And when I first got to Texas State, I didn't think we were very big. I didn't think we had the profile of a team. And, the way that we could kind of upgrade in size was kind of get into that transfer portal a little bit. And we've increased our size tremendously across the board, especially up front on the O-line and D-line. Still not where we exactly want to be, but, we're better than what we've ever been in terms of size and just the profile. Because, you're going up a team like Baylor. Baylor is a great looking team. They're very big. They're very physical, and you got to be able to match that. I'm a big believer in big people beat up little people, and that's where you're always trying to match the personnel and try to get bigger. And I think the transfer portal has helped our school out tremendously.
Coach, Calvin Hill's been in your program for a little while now. He had a huge performance, nearly 200 yards on almost 30 carries. Just what kind of growth have you seen from him over the last few years?
Yeah, Calvin came from Baytown Lee. We signed him in 2019, and he was just an under recruited kid, and I thought he had a dynamic speed. He was about 150 pounds when he first came in, and it's been awesome to watch him develop and grow, over these last 3 years, and he's got to a point where he's a consistent runner. He's pretty dynamic, in space, and he's just getting better every single year and every single day, actually. But he's also a great leader. And he's a great person too. So I'm just really pleased with the progress of him. And, he's kind of given us a little spark, because we've been kind of inconsistent on offense. And he gave us a spark last Saturday, and I was very happy for him.
Coach, you gave Baylor all they could handle, and it was a very competitive game. It was really in doubt all the way till the end in the game last year at your place. Did you see in them what they became later in the year?
I did. I thought, week one is always a very unique time. You had a new coordinator in, on offense that year, and and it's going into after a COVID year with, with the new coaching staff, with Coach Aranda, and it's you knew how talented they were. I just remember going up against Matt Rule when I was at West Virginia and those teams, and how physical they were and how hard they played, and you could see that, we threw all sorts of different things out of that game. And a lot of it really didn't work. We struggled for a lot of yards. It's just the defense kind of held up their own, at the beginning of that year and of that game. So it kind of put us in position to be competitive in that game. But it's not a surprise to me on where Baylor went, that year. And I just think that Coach Roberts and Coach Aranda and what they do on defense is one of the hardest schemes I've ever gone up against. I think they're very sound. They're very contested. I think what they're doing on offense now is very difficult to defend. They got a mindset and they got an attitude that it is you got to bring it. You can't they play extremely hard. They play physical, and if you're not going to match their physicality or at least strain when you're going up against them, man, it could get out of hand pretty quickly. So it's not a surprise to me on what they're doing because I'm a big fan of what they're doing because I think they're very sound in what they're doing and they're very competitive in what they do.
How much did the Sun Belt Conference take who they are or what people may have thought of them, whether the opinion was right or wrong, and just put themselves on almost a national level as far as respect?
Yeah, I'm very excited for our conference. I think Commissioner Gill does an unbelievable job, and throughout the the ups and downs of college football and the ever-changing climate in the conference realignment, I think he's done a really good job at having a plan and sticking to it, and I think that he knew that, just in these times that you have to show, a strong structure of a conference, and stability. And with him adding in Marshall and Old Dominion and Southern Miss and James Madison into our conference, it's just added just more, just more power to our conference. And logistically, you got 14 teams in 10 states, so you pretty much cover the South. So, it's a wide range of, football that can touch the Sun Belt. So I think Commissioner Gill's done an extremely, great job at just putting in a position to, be arguably one of the better Group of 5 conferences out there.
Baylor obviously just has 2 games. You just have 2 games. There's not a lot on film. But from last year's to this year, how much different are the 2 teams, or are they pretty similar?
I think they're very similar. I think Chapin's a very good quarterback, man. And, I'm a big fan of quarterback play. I've been fortunate to coach a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm always looking at quarterback play because I think that's what really changes programs and gets them to where they need to go. And I think Chapin is going to be extremely good. That's what I see is different because you can open it up a little bit more and what they do. So I think just when you compare them from last year to this year, I think they're better because they lost a lot of talented guys, but I think they're just so used to the scheme this year. I think they're very sound in what they do, and they still play with the great effort. And there's no doubt in my mind, Coach Aranda will have that thing rolling again.
Jake, you have been through where players you coach left, and you have obviously had some now have come to your place to play for you as well. Coach Huff, after the win against Notre Dame, made the comment that they have 3 guys from Florida State. They all played Notre Dame last year. He discussed that sometimes the transfer portal is what people see go up rather than what also might not so much come down, but going to different teams from the FBS level. Your thoughts about that? Is that something that maybe people have overlooked?
That is a good point. We've had a lot of guys, from other schools that played at the FBS level, and that's, you don't have to worry about them, in those first game jitters or anything of that nature because they've already been thrown into the fire and they know what it's like to play FBS football. It's the transfer portal for Group of 5. It's different than Power 5 because you got to replace people pretty much every year. We have a battle that we're always fighting against in terms of just our players leading to go to the Power 5. I lost 3 guys that were high school signees that ended up going to Power 5 schools and I wish them best of luck, but the transfer portals allowed us to at least try to get a guy in with at least experience, and sometimes get those guys that have played at the Power 5 level that kind of make you feel a lot better going into fall camp with guys that at least have played got college football playing experience, especially at the FBS level.
You mentioned results, and we've mentioned results, and the Sun Belt had their weekend, and maybe another one coming up. How much has all of the off-the-field discussion about the future of college football affected anything at all, if at all? And also, did the expansion of the college football playoff and at least the announcement about a week and a half ago kind of give everybody all you want is hope, and you might get that now?
Exactly. And that's all we can ask for, because there's a lot of teams and really all the Sun Belt teams could go undefeated and they won't be able to play in the college football playoff. And I think that just gives us an opportunity to at least get a team, to get into the top 12, and that's something that all we're asking for. We take a lot of pride in, trying to play as many Power 5 teams as we possibly can in the conference, and we're trying to, that's how we try to spread, our publicity of our conference, but just with the expansion of the college football playoff, that's going to help us out a lot. And and I think the Sun Belt has done a great job with the structure and the stability to at least be considered to possibly get a couple of those in the future.
Jake, we appreciate you. Thanks for the access. We do, and we'll see you Saturday.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. See you then.
Jake Spavital, head coach at Texas State. They won. They got beat the opening game, won last week.